Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Mist Valley deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Gloomba. And this deck is a super old school dual terminal deck that can synchro summon into some absolutely incredible monsters. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name scripted in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. And definitely give Gloomba some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Mist Valley Falcon. This card is a great 3-of in the deck that has an absolutely incredible effect. This card cannot declare an attack unless you return 1 card you control back to your hand. Now that's a really powerful effect for all of the different tech cards we're playing in this deck. We're then playing 3 copies of Mist Valley Thunderbird. Thunderbird is a really good 3-of in the deck. It has the ability, when this face-up card on the field returns back to the hand, you can special summon this card. And this card cannot attack during the turn it was special summoned by this effect. But that's a really awesome effect to combo with your copy of Falcon to instantly just special summon it back to the field. I then play 2 copies of Mist Valley Soldier. Mist Valley Soldier is pretty much the level 4 tuner of the deck, and while you control this face-up card, any opponent's monster that battles this card but was not destroyed by battle returns back to its owner's hand at the end of the damage step, which is a pretty good effect to be able to just bounce an opponent's monster. But this card is really good because it is a level 4 tuner that can help us synchro climb into some really powerful cards. I then play just a single copy of Mist Valley Shaman. I feel like 1 is totally fine in this deck. It is a tuner and has the effect that once per turn you return 1 other monster you control back to your hand to have this card gain 500 attack and defense until the end of the turn, which is a pretty good effect to be able to let this card gain that 500 bonus attack points. I then play 3 copies of Mist Condor. Mist Condor is a really awesome card to combo with our Thunderbird because this card has the ability that you can special summon this card from your hand by returning 1 face-up Mist Valley monster you control back to your hand, and if you do, this card's attack becomes 1700, which is a pretty good effect to be able to use with this card to be able to just get an additional monster on the field. I then play a single copy of Gen X Ally Birdman. Birdman is just a good 1-of to be able to bounce your cards back to your hand and special summon this card to your side of the field. It's a great tuner monster for the deck to help you go into all sorts of different synchro monsters. I'm then playing 3 copies of Reborn Tengu. Reborn Tengu is a great card to combo in this deck as well, because if this card leaves the field, you get to special summon another copy of this card from your hand. And with cards like Mist Valley Falcon, you can bounce this card back to the hand, which counts as leaving the field, so you can special summon an additional copy of this card from the deck, which is a great effect to have in this particular build. I'm then playing 3 copies of Win the Wind Channeler. This card is a great 3-of to be able to search any of our wind monsters that we need, because this card has the ability you can discard this card plus any other wind monster to add a wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. And also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn except wind monsters, which is not that big of a deal because that's pretty much all we're activating in this deck anyways. So this card is a great 3-of to search out a bunch of different cards in this build. I'm then playing 3 copies of Wind Witch Ice Bell. The Wind Witch engine is really good in this deck to help us synchro climb into some really powerful cards like our copies of Crystal Wing, just to give us some really good boss monsters on the field. But this card is essentially a cyber dragon that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon a Wind Witch monster from your deck, but it cannot be tributed. And you cannot special summon monsters from the extract the turn you activate this effect except level 5 or higher wind monsters. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent, which is a pretty good effect to chain block your copy of Glass Bell so you can get your search. I then play 2 copies of Glass Bell. Glass Bell is a really awesome 2-of in the deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Wind Witch monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a really good effect to be able to search out your copies of Snowbell, which I do play 2 copies of Snowbell in the build because it's really easy to use this card as a tuner in this build, because if you control 2 or more wind monsters and no non-wind monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and a wind synchro monster that uses this card as a material to synchro summon it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is a really good effect. I really like this card as a 2-of in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming to search out our awesome field spell in this deck, but this card just comes in extremely handy to search out Divine Wind of Mist Valley. I then play a single copy of Monster Reborn just to extend our plays. This card is just a really good one-of in the deck to be able to just get a monster back out of the graveyard. I then play a single copy of Double or Nothing because it's super easy in this deck to be able to put 2 level 4 monsters on the field, and this card just comes in extremely handy to be able to OTK the opponent, which is why I play this card as a one-up. This card is super easy to use because basically what you do with this card is you make a copy of Utopia Double, detach a material from it, search this card from the deck, and lay a copy of Utopia on top of Utopia Double. The Utopia will come out at 5,000 attack points. You can then swing at the opponent, negate the attack with Utopia's effect, and then drop Double or Nothing from your hand to go back into another monster and basically go in for 10,000 attack points, which is absolutely insane. I love that about this deck, that it's so easy to pull off Utopia Double and just go in for game. I then play a single copy of Divine Wind of Mist Valley. This card is just a one-of because currently it's still at 1, but this card is super powerful because once per turn, if a wind monster you control returns to the hand except during the damage step, then you can special summon 1 level 4 lower wind monster from your deck, which is a really powerful effect to be able to get any wind monster you need directly from your deck to your side of the field, as long as it's level 4 or lower. I then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is really good in this deck just to help you dig for the exact combo piece that you need, just to be able to banish cards from your extra deck and then basically dig for 6 and add one of those cards to your hand. This card is definitely a 3-of in this build. I then play 3 of an extremely spicy tech card that I bet you guys never saw coming, but we're actually going to lay this card face down and play Guess That Card. So I'm going to lay this card down. It's a super spicy tech card that I'm playing in this deck, and it's really, really good. It's a 3-of that we're playing, and we're actually going to get you guys to comment down below what you think this card is. It's super old school and just a really awesome tech card. So I'm going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1, and definitely comment down below what you think it is, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So we're going to go ahead and reveal it, and that tech card is 3 copies of Swords of Revealing Light. You might be looking at this card and going, what? 3 copies of Swords of Revealing Light? Well, you guys saw the previous Mist Valley deck profile. You guys know why we're playing this card, but this card is really good comboed with our copy of Mist Valley Falcon. Mist Valley Falcon has the effect that this card cannot declare an attack unless you return 1 card back to your hand that you control, basically giving you infinite Swords of Revealing Light where your opponent cannot attack, which is really, really cool. I absolutely love Swords of Revealing Light in this deck, and it's super cool to have a deck that you can actually play these super old school Swords of Revealing Light in. I then play 3 copies of Big Bang Shot. Big Bang Shot is basically the same thing as Swords of Revealing Light. It works with Mist Valley Falcon because this card can be equipped to any monster, and it gives the monster 400 bonus attack points, and it lets the monster do piercing damage. But the really cool effect on this card is when this card is destroyed or removed from the field by any reason, the destroyed or the monster that was equipped with this card is banished, which is super good because you can equip this to an opponent's monster, attack, and then use this card to be able to bounce it back to the hand with Falcon, and then you basically attack in for 2,000 and then get rid of the monster and banish the card that this card was equipped to, which can be able to reuse over and over again, which is super cool. I absolutely love both of these cards from Mist Valley Falcon. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, I'm going to be playing just a single trap, and that's going to be a single copy of Metaverse. I have considered dropping this out of the build, but it's still a really good one-of overall. I really like this card to be able to get to our copy of Divine Wind because it's just super good and a really powerful field spell in the deck. And we play basically 3 of it in this build with the 1 copy of Metaverse, 1 copy of Terraforming, and 1 copy of Divine Wind. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Mist Valley Thunderlord. This card is super cool. I really like this card as a one-of. It has a really simple effect that once per turn, you can select 1 card that you control, return it back to the hand, and then this card gains 500 attack until the end phase. And this effect can only be activated, or can be activated during either player's turn, which is a pretty good effect to have because you can also bounce cards like Swords of Revealing Light and cards like your Big Bang Shot to be able to use it multiple times, which is really cool. I then play a single copy copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is really good as a 1-of in here because it is a wind monster, which is pretty important about this deck, but it's a walking negate and it can pop cards on the field, which is why we play it as a 1-of. I then play a single copy of Mistworm. I did pull out the old dual terminal rare for this, and this card is just super cool in the deck. It's really easy to make this card with your copy of Snowbell and any 2 level 4s, because if this card is synchro summon, you can target up to 3 cards that your opponent controls and return them back to the hand, which is a pretty good effect. I then play a single copy of the Virtual World QB, because this card is just a really awesome effect that any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead, which is just a super powerful effect. I then play a single copy of Cyber/Harpy Lady. This card is a good 1-of in the deck, very generic to be able to make in this deck, and it is a wind level 8, so it's a really good 1-of. I then play a single copy of Crystal Wing. Crystal Wing is the go-to for our Wind Witch package, and it's just such a good card to be able to make in this deck because it's a walking monster negate. I then play a single copy of Diamond Bell because we can make it with the Wind Witch engine, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in here. I play a single copy of Winter Bell so we can climb into this card with our copies of our Wind Witch cards to be able to make this card first and then either go for a copy of Crystal Wing or Diamond Bell, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Wind Pegasus. You can make this card first instead of going into your copy of Winter Bell, but it's totally up to you guys which one you want to go for. I like playing the copy of Wind Pegasus in here because it has the ability that if it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card and then target a card your opponent controls and shuffle it back into the deck, which is a pretty good effect. I then play a single copy of Stardust Charge Warrior, because upon synchro summoning, it does let you draw a card, which is a pretty good effect. 1 copy of Lightning Chidori, because it bounces cards, which is really nice. Heartland Draco, because I use this card to make Zeus, and it can attack directly, which is super cool, because while you control a face-up spell card, this card cannot be targeted for an attacks, and then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, and this card can attack directly this turn. But other monsters cannot attack, but that's totally fine, just to be able to go in, attack directly, and then make Zeus. We then play a single copy of Utopia Double. Utopia Double is in here because we use it with Double or Nothing to be able to make a Utopia with 5,000 attack points and then swing with this card, negate the attack with its own effect, and then drop Double or Nothing to attack again into only monsters, not directly, with a 10,000 attack point monster, which closes out games. I then play a single copy of Double A Zeus because we do play quite a few Xyzs in the deck, and it's really nice to be able to board wipe. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Mist Valley before, you definitely should give the deck a try. Hopefully in the future we get some support for this deck. This deck does need support, but it's just super fun to be able to play, especially with how cool Mist Valley Falcon is. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.